fully EV, you can drive for 500 to 600 kilometers with no issues at all.
Amazing.
When it comes to customers' preference and need, and of course, now most customers are preferring EVs for multiple reasons. One, it's almost 10 times lower cost than fueling when it comes to charging.
So economic considerations.
Very economical. As well, you're saving on the maintenance and all of the different service costs that you do. And the convenience. So most people that I've seen who are driving EVs in Oman or even here in the GCC in Dubai, basically never have to go to any charging station. It's always that whenever we talk about EV, we always are worried about the infrastructure.
Where am I going to charge it?
Where am I going to charge it, and etc. But if you're talking about your daily commute, you have an electric car that can drive for 500 kilometers, and the whole day, I mean, for you to finish the 500 kilometers, unless you're going for a very long distance. And if you're going for a long distance, then there are some changes.
Unless you're going to Salalah, for example.
Salalah or yes, then you will need some technologies, or some charging stations might be available. But in your general daily commute going to work, 500 kilometers
is more
than enough. You'll go back home and you will charge it just like how you charge your iPhone. And that's the convenience aspect. So you actually save even more time.
And the sustainability considerations, right?
Exactly.
The EVs are contributing more towards a more
zero emissions.
Low carbon.
Exactly. I mean, that's one main benefit as well for when it comes to environmental, and that's a strong benefit as well, that we all participate and actually have a say and an action towards contributing to emissions as well. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. And Mr. Sulaiman, it would be great to know more about the different products of Afkarius.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So the first product was launched in 2018. It's a world first water heater, smart water heater for cars. And the product has 2 patents, and it's being sold worldwide nowadays. The idea is to have a smart water heater for people who love camping and outdoor activities that can be controlled through mobile phone, connected, and it utilizes the heat of the engine in order to heat the water. You know, if you use electrical heaters, then it will require a lot of electrical power, which the car cannot provide. And if you use gas, then you have to carry the gas cylinder and all the safety issues. So the idea is to utilize the waste heat energy from the car in order to heat water from a water source. Plus the other functionalities like heating the water directly from water source like wadi or river or anything else. The second product that we've launched that's also into outdoor and camping market. So basically that was our specialty, is to have smart products, connected products to serve outdoor and camping activities. During the pandemic, our outdoor activities were halted, and we have the people, we have the skills, we have the tools, but basically all outdoor activities were stopped. So we thought of utilizing our skills and capability that we have in-house in order to help with the pandemic. At that time, there was, if you remember, there was a shortage of ventilator, and everybody basically in the world start making ventilators. Mercedes, Dyson, NASA, and some local initiatives. Some of these initiatives were based on open source designs that was created by MIT and some other universities. We started doing that at the beginning, but then later on we saw that it's limited. It will not give you the full capability of a ventilator. Also, during that time, we became doctors basically. We learned the physiology of a lung. We learned the respiratory system, how does it work? And we say, okay, we have the tools, we have the time, of course, and we have the capability to build a full-fledged, a complete mechanical ventilators to help with the pandemic. Of course, we love creating new things. All of our products are world first. So we've decided also to create a world or unique features and add them to this mechanical ventilator. We believe that this was the world first remotely controlled mechanical ventilator, and this is very important features um, because basically you have a pandemic and being able to take care of patients remotely, that will reduce infections between infections and protecting the medical staff. And of course, medical staffs are very important at that time. The second feature that we decided to add, it's already exists in high-end ventilator that were very expensive. None of the ventilators we have in Oman has this feature, but they are available, but only in high-end ventilators. And that is the ability to automatically control the oxygen dose from whether a high pressure source oxygen or low pressure source oxygen. Low pressure source, of course, is the oxygen cylinder, and high pressure source is the outlet on the hospital or on the ICU rooms. This proved to be a very important feature during the pandemic for two reasons. First reason, because of field hospitals. During the pandemic, there were a lot of field hospitals, and they use oxygen cylinders to adjust the oxygen concentration for patients. With normal ventilators, if you are feeding the oxygen from a low pressure source, then the doctor has to manually adjust the dose of the oxygen. With such a ventilator, whether you have a high pressure oxygen source or a low pressure oxygen source, it will automatically adjust the dose of the oxygen. The second reason, actually, this proved to be a life-saving feature is that because of the oxygen pressure drop, due to the high demand, due to the huge amount, the huge number of patients in the ICU units, the pressure oxygen dropped in the ICU rooms, and the health care providers were not able to keep up with the pressure to make the ventilators automatically adjust the oxygen concentration. So that's why Nafas 20, that's what we called our ventilator. It has low pressure and high pressure oxygen, automatic oxygen mixing. The ventilator, it has sensors to measure pressure, flow, and oxygen concentration and other parameters. It can monitor and control around 50 of the vitals for the patients, and it supports all the important ventilation mode that's needed for COVID-19 or for any respiratory disease.
This is a really amazing development, especially within the health sector, especially given the lessons learned that we had during the pandemic. And could you please share with us your thoughts on where you see this is heading? Do you see that even after the pandemic, you will keep continuing and iterating and innovating, or do you think you will focus on some features? And also, could you please let us know whether your target, was it always only covering the local market, or are you looking also for the global market as well?
Okay. All right. So to answer your first question, where we see this is heading, I mean, telemedicine and IoT basically is the future. Okay, these are disruptive technologies that can shift and change and pivot the way health system work. Okay, nowadays you have patients are connected, doctors are connected, and healthcare professionals are connected. So having such device, whether it's a ventilator or basically any medical device connected, data can flow about the patient, can flow from one location to another. Doctors can and health professionals can take care of patients. and international consultancy becomes very easy. So that's one part of it. The second part is where these medical connected devices integrate with other technologies. So you have medical devices, Internet of Things, and these IoT medical telemedicine devices, now they're able to generate data. And that's where the second part of the second, another technology will play a big role. That's mainly data science and artificial intelligence. Because with having a connected devices, then data can flow seamlessly from multiple patients across all the continents to artificial intelligence engine that can help doctors into diagnose patients, into help doctors into finding the best treatment and the best treatment course for patients. So that's where we think the technology is heading. This will require also a change on the health system, the way they operate. It will be more efficient, and it will hopefully cost less and provide a great health benefit to users. The second part of your question, of course, we have developed this device based on our in-house capabilities and the skills we have, although at that time there was a lot of import restriction to some of the medical equipments. We have to innovate. We had to use digital manufacturing technologies such as 3D printing in order to manufacture some of the parts. And we have done all of this based on our own resources. So what's probably lacking in the market is to have the right sort of investment into making medical devices, because it's not only about the device. It's about the device, it's about the certification, and it's about the whole ecosystem of having independent testing procedures, testing systems, and approval systems. Unfortunately, all this ecosystem is not available locally, and we are trying to find the investors who are willing to take the risk and invest into such systems and devices, and also with the local universities in order to have the right testing and safe environment for such a device. This is a quite sophisticated medical device.
Thank you so much. And I like you mentioned, I really think that investment play a major role, especially with all that the medical industry or medical technology industry relies a lot on and there is a huge emphasis on certification globally before opening up the global market for companies like Afkarius. Thank you so much, Mr. Suleiman. Any last points related to maybe even the brand of Mace, where it comes from, and any last comments you would like to make about your exciting launch?
Sure. So I think you asked about the name Mace. So Mace is derived from Mysore. So the winning the late His Majesty's winning horse, Mysore. It was always winning the races. So the name was actually derived from there, as well as the name
really
Mace has an international beautiful touch to it. And just last notes I would like to say is that I always advise companies today to look forward, not to work only for today, but also for the future, to prepare their products, their services for the future generations, which mostly today we're speaking about the metaverse, the NFTs, and this is the future. This is what the new generation are going into, and it's important that we place ourselves where the future is.
Yes,
so that's
place ourselves where the future is. That really is the key. Sadamira?
Maybe I'll copy what Heider says, but in my version. The name of Mulhim VR, it came from Sheikh Khalfan Al-Aisari.
Yes.
Because the first time I introduced this idea for him, he supported me. He had cancer, and the main idea, it was for cancer patients, and he motivated me to go for this. So to keep his memory in this, we just take the name from his personality. He is Mulhim, he is an inspiring person. And I would also recommend the organizations in Oman and GCC countries to go forward these technologies, applying virtual reality in training, in marketing, in healthcare, because this is the future. And I think also these companies here, maybe we are challenging, have a challenge which is fundraising. I think this is a common thing for startups in GCC especially and in Oman. And we hope that we find more investors putting trust in these companies.
Amazing. I mean, has been another exciting session. It was amazing to learn about all the advancement in medical technology with Afkarius and Mr. Sulaiman Al-Habsi. Thank you so much for being with us online.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me, and thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you so much also for pointing out that investment is very important in the medical technology field, especially if we are expecting companies from the region to be able to come and contribute and share ideas and connect minds with the global market. Thank you also, Mr. Heider.
Thank you, Doctor, for this great session.
You could have chosen an easier field to come into, but you chose a field as challenging, as sophisticated as EVs. And not only that, you decided that you will converge with the world of NFT, another complex world.
Not impossible. Others have done it, so we are taking very clear steps towards.
And as you beautifully said, we need to place ourselves where the future is. Thank you so much, Amira, for your dedication to the world of VR. Moving from the public sector to the private sector, being very creative and working on very, very noble projects, such as making medical procedures very children-friendly, I think is something very noble. And also taking inspirations from people who are no longer with us, but we appreciate the vision that they've shared with us is something very noble as well. So thank you very much for that.
And I enjoyed the discussion with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Samira. And thank you so much for your audience. Over to you, Snada.
What? We also have an inspiring startup story here over there in Oman, and we would like to share this with you to remind you in our platform, innovationcube.com, where you can find all the knowledge and all the sessions and later on the competitions which we are launching in a few minutes. Also, you can find workshops and a lot more. So please log into innovationcube.com. It's a continuous efforts from Oman to the world. Thank you for our speakers for joining us here today, and thank you so much for attending. And you can leave the stage. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you. Meanwhile, I'm gonna just our friend here, Musa, he wants to give you an update on the 3D printer, which was working since the morning.
Yeah.
So please, Musa.
Assalamu alaikum. My name Musa Al-Amri, CEO and co-founder of 3D Factory. Here, I will have these few minutes to showcase our printer and how easy and reliable to start a 3D print. Now, when we talk about 3D printing, usually we have the prototyping phase in mind. But if I can show you some, very educational model here to teach the student how suspension works, how joints works, and this is a toy in the same time. I can give it to a kid to play with it. But 3D printers now and 3D Factory 1.0, it's our printer here, it's a smart printer. Can do all the manual things automatically. No human involved here. Now, if I want to start a print, I can start a print with just 3 clicks or 3 small steps. First one, to have the file in the SD card. Just put it in the SD card. The printer will show the menu directly to you to start the print. And then I'm going to choose the file. And directly when I click the file, just confirm it, and that's it. Now, we wait for the printer to heat up, and then we'll do the auto-calibration routine. We will see it just in a minute. Oh, we need to heat up the bed. So the printer now heating up the bed. After that, the printer is going to start print directly. I will give this small update about the feature of the printer itself. The printer was here for like the last 3 hours, working on a product, printing a product with no sound at all. This is one main feature in our 3D printer. And also we have smart add-ons. We can add smart add-ons as Wi-Fi. We can do the password feature. Why do we need that? If you put the printer in a classroom, you don't want all students to use the printer at once. You need to give the permission for the printer. So we had this feature also. We have developed a feature, we call it the Auto Z Align. The printer doesn't need to, wear the hardware to correct the Z align. It's going to do it automatically by itself. It's going to calculate. Now you can see the printer start to print. This is the auto calibration sequence. The printer do it by itself, by itself. As you can see, we call it home all access. And then this is auto bed leveling. The printer going to take 9 points from the bed to know what does the bed look like. If the bed is tilted, when the printer prints, it's going to follow the shape of the bed. And this is very smart, add-ons here. We have also the power bank feature. The power bank feature, it means when you disconnect the printer from the electricity, or just electricity goes down, the printer going to continue to print after the electricity come back, or the power. And we call it the power bank sequence to save the print. Now we can see that the printer has started, and we are printing the first layer with very high precision. The full layer is sticking to the bed with no warping or problems. Why? Because we have the auto bed leveler. For me, that's all. I wanted to share this information about the printer, and thank you for hearing. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we've been going since the morning, and we would have to go on a break for 15 minutes. Coming back from the break, we're going to have an exciting session with His Excellency Mohsen Al-Bulushi, the General Commissioner of our pavilion, the Oman Pavilion, and with the Dr. Salem Shaili from the Ministry of Transport and Communication, where they are going to speak to us about how to connect the culture and the digital in a purple economy.
Purple economy.
Yes, and this is what we're going to be speaking about. And please stay tuned, because we're going to launch some of our best competitions, which are going to be lasting till the end of the expo, where we are going to announce winners at the end of the expo. We're launching 3 competitions today from 3 different parties in Oman, and they're contributing to these competitions to the world, where anyone from around the world who are seeing us or watching us today, they can actually come and participate in these competitions. So stay tuned, 15 minutes break, and please come back and join us. Thanks a lot.
So,
please.
Microphone, please.
Microphone? Do we have a microphone?
Yes.
Mr. Haytham has some words. Is it open?
Yes, it's open.
Please.
I just heard a few points, and I would like just to comment. Amira mentioned that financing is one of the issues that faces the new startups. It's good to mention that the Capital Market Authority of Oman has already launched the crowdfunding regulation, and there are 2 companies applying for that license. So those crowdfunding applications or platforms will allow startups to look for finance. There are different types of financing models where you can apply for. The first one is a donation-based financing, where if you have a story, and if that story is some human touches stories like the medical sector, for example, you can receive finance with no rewards. That's a donation type. There are some other different types of crowdfunding, like in-kind participation, where you promise the person who is financing you to give them a product from whatever you will manufacture or generate. The third one is a partnership where they will be part of your equity. And the fourth one is a loan or a bond type or a debt type financing. So those platforms will allow startups to receive fundings directly from a massive investors. And most of us who are looking for small participation, small businesses, and a good story to invest in, those crowdfundings will be your good source of financing. So I will recommend all startups to look into what CMA of Oman offers in the upcoming time. And I definitely know that there are 2 platforms applying for a license currently.
How long do you expect it will take until these solutions are online?
I know those 2 platforms are ready to launch. They're just completing the regulatory requirements.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, Mr. Heider, that's even in some markets like US and Europe, those who have already a maturity level, crowdfunding, normally they do have a campaign because even the society have no enough understanding what does it mean. So we should expect the same in Oman, having chance, and they are proceeding to have all the license. It would not make really a significant change unless that society, they are properly engaged in this process. So who's struggling right now is startups. And if we bring enablers, that's enablers, they would take time really to support the startups and move from, let's say, Mr. Khalid said, from starting up to scaling up. So we will create new opportunities for crowdfunding, but the startups, they would still struggling. So really to connect all these dots together, we need great efforts. We need a sort of campaigns. Maybe. Yeah, because our economy is now based on knowledge. And you cannot attract any investment from outside if there is no good example, because investors, they said, what's happening in Oman? They will look how many technology startups appear, how ready the society is to adapt a new technology, and in the future that if they want to hire talents, do this society have enough talents? So we need really to look for all these icons we have today here, like Mace, VR, 3D printing, IoT, and we need to push them, we need to accelerate them. Otherwise, bringing people from outside, and there is no success story inside, it would create a big gap, and it would be effort, but there is no good result. Thank you very much.
I do agree there is a lot of work to do to support startups and SMEs as well. There are plans with the government, and there are plans with us as well as an exchange to create a platform. But our role is mainly financing, and that's where crowdfunding comes. So that crowdfunding is not just a local application. It's open for any investors to come and invest. So I really don't like mentioning foreign investments. All investors are looking for a profit, whether local or foreigners. And the only issue with the foreigners is they're looking into cross-border risks. That's the only additional, let's say, criteria they put. Otherwise, we are all together looking for a good investments and a good opportunities. So our target is to create a platform that's open for everyone. I'm not sure 100%, but I do believe that One of the applicants to CMA is an international crowdfunding platform. It's not just a local one. So that will create an access from different investors. The only thing you have to do is create your story and decide what type of partnership or what type of financing you're looking for, and utilize that. So we have a push from Central Bank of Oman on their banks to have a certain percentage of the lending toward SMEs. We have the SME authority. We do have us creating this crowdfunding and different type of platforms. There are multiple alternatives for startups to get finance, and that's what we do. We need to create those different alternatives that matches the needs of SMEs and startups. Other than this, in terms of marketing, yes, there are a lot of other authorities. They're supposed to look into that. We have as well Ministry of Commerce. They have as well a role on that. SME authority as well. The startups themselves, they have to market their own products. But our mission now is to create the finance, because this is one of the main struggles for startups.
Totally agree. Thank you so much for that great development.
So much, Mr. Haytham, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank Muscat Stock Market for supporting our initiative to come here at the Expo and to make our voice listened by the world. And for, of course, them being a golden sponsor with us. I would also like to thank other sponsors, which are Oman Invest, our strategic partner, who's been a great partner all the way of the journey. Our governmental parties or our governmental partners who have supported these initiatives, from the Ministry of Transport and Communication, the Ministry of Higher Education and Research, and also the Ministry of
That's a good question. Yeah, just see the Ministry of Higher Education, Research and Innovation.
Okay, this that was the second one, and the first one is the transport.
Yes.
And the third one is the Ministry
Culture.
of Culture. How can I forget this?
Yeah.
They're actually sponsoring one of our games here, and I totally slipped my mind. They're sponsoring one of the competitions that are coming up after the break. So three main partners are the government, and our private sector is supporting us being here. And we never forget our media partner in Shabiba, who are broadcasting on their Times of Oman as well. All the way to our viewers and the live streaming now happening in Oman. And a lot of people are actually watching us there. And our goal was from the beginning is to have as much audience as we can from both here at the Expo and from Oman, for everyone to enjoy this experience and tune in with us. So please, we're going to have our 15 minutes break, and join us later after the break. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ustad Haytham.
Hi, my name is Charm. I'm here today at the Dubai Expo at the Sustainability Pavilion in the Terra Auditorium. Right now, the Oman Innovation Hub Forum is happening right behind me, where great minds come together and build for the future. Come join me, let's take a look. I am here with Heider Al-Sami from the Muscat Stock Exchange. Thank you so much. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So tell me a little bit more about your role here within this forum.
Actually, we are here today to discuss digital assets, NFTs, and a lot of digital world. And being an exchange, we would like to explore the opportunities to have such digital assets exchange.
And what is your expectations from such events?
Our expectation is actually to get a test on views, different views from different participants, and see where we can implement such an exchange in Oman, and as well explore the youth and their digital minds and how that can help us in having such an exchange.
Are there any technologies implemented that are hyped all over the world here in Oman?
We do have a blockchain-based application, which is electronic general meetings. That's for the companies to conduct their annual meetings with their shareholders. And it's blockchain-based. It has been operated since 2022, and it's doing well. Such application is showing the clients or the investor the proof that they have voted, and those votes are immune and cannot be changed. So we are using blockchain for that reason.
Very interesting, and cannot wait to see what the future holds further. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
I am here with Dr. Salim. Dr. Salim, welcome. Tell me a little bit about your role in this event.
Hello, first of all, good morning to everyone, to all the listeners and watchers here. My name is Salim Al-Shaili. I am from Ministry of Transport, Communication and Information. I work there as senior executive in the National Program of Artificial Intelligence and Advanced Technologies. The ministry is taking care about all the government, industry, and the community. They are trying to collaborate between all of these of the three factors. Of course, lately they launched the digital economy strategy. It came, of course, this derived from the top National Vision 2040, and this is based in different pillars. One of these pillars is national programs. It's artificial intelligence and advanced technology. Of course, there are several programs there like digital transformation, cybersecurity, space, and e-commerce, and other things. We are trying, of course, to accelerate the implementation of artificial intelligence and advanced technologies in the countries for all, either for the beginners, SMEs, or in the government, or in the industry themselves. Also for the capacity building, we are trying also for the future skills, of course, how to develop, educate people to be capable in the future to take and handle all these technologies.
That is very interesting. Are you seeing any new trends that have been implemented, especially in the governmental sector within Oman?
Yes, of course. There are lots of technology that's been implemented, like, for example, drones. And coming soon, that a new project is going to be for moving parcels from one point to other point. And also, artificial intelligence has been implemented in several projects in the government. Plus, IoT, Internet of Things, has been implemented. And so several projects that are implemented there, and also for blockchain already implemented in some entities and organization also in the country.
Very, very good. Thank you so much. Can you tell me a little bit about your expectations from such events that we're holding today?
Yes, like these events, always I am looking the future exposure that I can see. First of all, is knowledge sharing, and also others is listening from others. So like everyone is integrated to the other and complementary, or I can, like one hand, all are integrated. So whatever you know, I can gain this knowledge, and the other this. And of course, definitely in this event, in the place such this expo, we're not even sharing the knowledge inside this hall, but even between the countries themselves. And we know this now, the countries in the world, they are competing between each other in order to to implement the new technologies for their services. So it's a good opportunity for all to gain this knowledge and to learn from them, from their experience.
Exactly, so to learn from each other, and it's like a think tank all together. I mean, many minds make great opportunities and build the future.
Exactly.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you for your time, and thank you for giving this opportunity to talk about this one.
It was a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I am here with Heider Ozevi, co-founder of Mace. Please tell me a little bit about your company.
Yes, so Mace is an electric car design and manufacturing company. We make electric cars, and we're actually happy to announce that we're going to showcase the first electric car this Sunday in Muscat, Al Bustan Palace.
I am definitely going to be there. That is really exciting. Mabruk Awi.
Thank you.
So how do you see your participation in this great forum?
So we're very excited to be part of the Innovation Cube Forum here in Dubai Expo. Of course, we're using this opportunity as well to discuss about Mace's involvement in the metaverse and in the NFT. As well, today we're launching Mace's first cars NFTs, and it's of course of a great pleasure for us. As well, it's a huge value for our customers that we continue to work for.
I am very excited, and I cannot wait to hear your speaking moment and to see the release of this wonderful car. Tell me, how long have you been working on this?
So we've been working on this project for the past 2 years, and of course there's been a lot of work going on, a lot of hard work by different team members as well, working locally with the engineers of manufacturing cars as well, working with international experts from international car manufacturers, getting different validations on the design, on the business model, on the manufacturing aspect, in order to ensure that we're moving in steps to be able to launch this car not just locally but also for the international markets.
It's so great that the trendsetter is built in Oman, and that this innovation is something that is the future not only of Oman but of the whole world. So therefore it's a proud moment. Thank you so much for your time, and I'm going to follow you in to listen to whatever you have to say, and I'll see you on Sunday.
Thank you. Likewise. Pleasure to having you all.